They might be giants. And that's the theme from Flood. John Flansburgh, John Linnell are here with us on K-Rock.
Good morning, Vin. We don't usually get up this early on Sunday, but to do your show, we've changed.
Well, we've changed too.
routine.
It's nighttime now. It's a whole different show.
Well,
You've been on the show many times, but it's always been in the morning, and now it's night, and now you have no more excuses. You can't come up here anymore and say, "Oh, we can't talk because we've been up all night." The last time I saw you guys, the last time you were here, you were either just going to Europe or just coming from Europe. I forget which, but you were about to record this album. You were getting ready to go into the studio.
Oh yeah, right.
And
That was probably in March or something.
something like that. I don't really remember, but it's out and it's on a major label.
Yep.
And it's called Flood. Can you tell me why it's called Flood? Because there is no song called Flood. But is it?
No.
Is it like is Flood the overflowing? I mean, there's a lot of songs. There's like almost 20 songs on this thing.
Natural, unstoppable.
Is that what it is? It's a primal force of nature? They might.
Yeah,
be
it
giants?
just seemed like kind of a good image. I think. Well, we have I don't know if you have a tape library of a lot of mixed bag things that you just kind of name because you have to give it a name.
Mixed Bag that's a different show.
No,
That's
that's the one that's on the morning now.
That's
right?
another show.
No. Well, I guess the thing, we make a lot of tapes with a lot of different songs on it, but instead of dating them or numbering them, we just give them names, and we named one thing Flood, and then so when we were trying to think of a name for a record, we just kind of looked at a tape called Flood and said, well, that'd be a good name for a record. So,
But there was actually no song called Flood.
no.
But there is a
now
theme.
there's a theme.
There is a theme
from
from Flood, and I think let me. I hate these damn.
What are you searching for, Vin?
I want to play the theme from Flood again, but
Okay.
it's always a problem
This is
with
the
these
single.
with these CDs. No, this
And
is
we're coming out with a remix.
which is the song that immediately follows the theme from Flood on the new album Flood.
So we're going through the record track by track here on K-Rock.
Well, we may not go through it track by track, but we're going to play a number of them. The next song that I want to play, actually, is the fourth track. I'm going to actually one of these days get pretty good at this, at queuing this machine up here. Why do I know Istanbul, not Constantinople? Aside from the fact that it sounds a little bit like Putting on the Ritz.
yeah, well,
Is
that's
that-
probably the main reason. And then also it was I think a minor hit for a group called the Four Lads in the 50s.
Okay, so you didn't write this song.
No, it's
No.
the one song that we've ever recorded that we didn't write. Although actually we've got a version of Lady is a Tramp on a B-sides compilation that's coming out on Bar None soon.
You mean like the Sinatra thing?
Right.
That's
Yeah,
why the
yeah.
lady is a tramp. You guys do Lady is a Tramp.
Well, we don't sing. There's no vocals. It's instrumental.
Oh, all right. And you just
Don't worry, Vin. It's safe.
And you've recorded a Phil Oakes song as well.
Yeah,
That's
there's
right,
this
yeah.
Elektra 40th anniversary compilation record coming out whenever, I guess they have to convince all their big stars to do songs as well, but it's coming out soon.
And so the idea is to re-record or to make new versions of
20 new
old
artists.
songs.
Yeah,
By
20 new
Electra artists, right.
doing 20 old songs, and we got the Phil Oakes. So originally they wanted us to do "We Will Rock You" by Queen, but the thing about it is that actually the song, I mean, except for Freddie Mercury's vocals, which are horrifying, the song is pretty much perfect, and we didn't really feel like we could bring anything more to the song.
Uh-huh.
Or it just wasn't like resonant with us. I mean, it's an interesting idea. I think if we could have done it, if we could have pulled it
What
off,
other
it would
what
have been
other songs?
a coup, but
Do you know what other artists and what other
Who's
songs?
doing what?
the
What-
Sugar Cubes are doing. Well, you see, Elektra had all those really loud thrash acts in the late '60s. So, like the Sugar Cubes are doing between the Sugar Cubes and
And the Pixies.
and Metallica, like all the Stooges, MC5, and
Uh-huh.
all those acts, all the Detroit, like super.
So somebody's doing like "I
Loud.
Want to Be Your Dog." or
Yeah,
something
actually,
like
I think
that.
John Zorn is doing "I Want to Be Yours."
Somebody should do. Now, who was it? They had a band there called Clear Light that did. Remember that they did a real heavy version of a Tom Paxton song called "Mr. Blue," one of the ultimate paranoia songs. Good morning, Mr. Blue. We've got our eyes on you. And there was a band called Clear Light. The lead vocalist of which went on to become an actor in made-for-TV movies. His name is Cliff DeYoung, and he's like a TV actor now,
Wow.
and he was in that band. So somebody should maybe somebody shouldn't cover that.
I think there's a piece missing in my trivia DNA. And
Yeah, you don't recall Clear Light, huh?
Yeah.
Elektra. I'm trying to think of other obscure, weird Elektra records back then. Bands like Ars Nova.
Yeah, there are a lot of them actually.
Yeah.
I mean, they read me the list of all what everybody's doing, and I have to say I wasn't familiar with a whole lot of them, but evidently.
And who was doing the Doors cover? Do you remember?
Oh gosh. Oh, The Cure or something.
Yeah, right.
Which song?
Boy,
I don't know. It's
Yeah, this-
probably something off Morrissey.
This is
I've never heard.
this is a project that's due out sometime this year.
Yeah. I think it was supposed to be due out now, but everyone is. It's hard enough to schedule one band's releases.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to get 20 of them to correspond.
We just
with one
finished ours, actually.
another. Yeah.
How do you feel about
2 months late.
how do you feel about being part of Elektra Records, being part of a big
It's
major
fine.
label now? Has it changed anything for you? Has it made anything different in your lives?
We feel soiled. Yeah, it's really okay.
We're dirty all over. No, it's.
Well, maybe you
really
got some
been
money
fun.
in your pocket now, perhaps.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were doing actually. We've been doing pretty well for the past couple of years, and just in terms of making money from shows and stuff like that. So, I think we were pretty lucky in that we weren't a new band being signed, so we didn't have to go through the whole process of having record companies trying to reinvent us. They kind of wanted to sign us rather than sign our potential. So there was something very. It was a known commodity, so I don't think anybody really wanted to mess with it.
They knew the package. They knew what they were buying.
They knew
into.
the mistake
Yeah.
they were making. It's hard to say what will happen in the future. I think it'll probably remain pretty good. We have good communication with them, and I think that's the most important thing. It's just that they know what you want. Having dealt with, a small record company, I think we've gotten used to the idea that we actually have to talk to these people rather than like hide away from them and think that they're trying to control us. I think we started out being very paranoid about anybody being involved in the project, and as the years have gone by and we've had good experiences with people, and realized that everybody, is on our side, it's kind of cooled off a little bit on the paranoia thing.
Did things change in terms of actually going into the studio and recording? Were you more free in terms of the time you could spend in the studio? Did you not have financial worries like you may have had in the past?
Well, we've always had enough money to record, in the sense that we just sought out situations where we were free time-wise. We recorded at really inexpensive studios, so we could have as much time to record as possible, as opposed to going into a really fancy studio for 2 minutes and getting it done really fast.
Right.
Which I think we realized would never work. So this time we went into a fancy studio and relaxed. So
We had about the same amount of anxiety, I think.
Yeah.
We expand to fill the available anxiety.
I understand exactly what you're saying. That's it. That's sort of like I've always felt that way about the money that I earn. I've never felt like that I'm living up to the money that I'm making.
Right.
I always feel like I'm in debt. So when I was making $45 a week back in 1968, I lived a certain lifestyle, and now I'm making whatever I make now, and I live the same lifestyle. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. So you expand
Right.
to fill it. Exactly.
yeah.
And
Actually, not that much has really changed for us.
No, we live in the same
real time.
places we lived when
Yeah.
we made Lincoln.
Are you still doing the phone thing?
Yep, Dial-A-Song exists. Actually, if you buy the new today's Sunday Times, it's printed in the Sunday Times.
Right here. I don't know
John
about this
Perellis
art.
article.
Mentally hyperactive and proud of it.
Yeah,
I don't know where he was going with this thing, because it started out being about you, and then you guys disappeared in this article somewhere, and it wound up being about Clever.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think we're more deeply ashamed of being clever than.
He didn't include that in the article.
He
He didn't say they're smart and they're totally ashamed of it.
Yeah.
But he does mention the Dial-A-Song, which is
Yeah.
which is area code 718-387-6962. Now, do you really change it every day?
Oh, we try to. It's hard to keep up with it. We've been doing it for a number of years.
That was one of the first times that I had any kind of involvement with you guys, was calling up that number and saying, "Wow, let me try this. Let me see what this is."
And
all
it doesn't
about."
cost $3.
718-387-6962. All right, so Istanbul. Now, I had a cassette of the album that I've been listening to for the last couple of days, and I didn't have any credits on it whatsoever, so I didn't know that it wasn't, in fact, your song, and I'm listening to it.
That's why you liked it so much. Vin.
No, it's just it rang this incredibly familiar bell. First of all, there's the musical thing. It's very similar to Putting on the Ritz, but I'm saying I've heard those words before.
Right.
I've heard those puns before. Now, tell me again where it's from.
Well, it's a band called the Four Lads did it, and
they were one of those 50s vocal.
Yeah, they were pretty popular actually. They had, what was their big hit?
And they sure dressed snappy.
I can't remember. Yeah, they dressed all in like tuxedos and.
Well, sort of like the way
really
you guys
groovy.
dress.
Yeah.
Snappy.
Yeah.
So what possessed you to record this song?
It just seemed like the groovy. I saw them do it on TV, but just like sometime in the 80s. I forget when exactly. But there was a show called The 50s, and I was sure it was going to be a rock and roll revival kind of thing, and it wasn't at all. It was like all about adult popular music from
Patty
the 50s.
Page,
Right,
and that
exactly.
kind of thing,
and they had
yeah.
all these. Everybody who was in that category was on the show, including the fabulous Four Lads.
The song has 2 chords, Vin. Need we say anything more? No, it's actually one of the easiest songs in the world to play because it's F minor and C.
That's right, C7.
Same song, better bridge.
That was it was the one and only time that Clark Gable sang in a movie. It was in a movie that was made in 1939 of a Robert Sherwood play called Idiot's Delight.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
there you go.
There's the
It all
connection.
comes
There's
around.
the connection.
Wow.
And it was that was the same year. That was like the same year of The Wizard of Oz, and was Gone with the Wind. I guess was in 1939. It was incredible. It was
there's
some
an article
incredible
about how
year.
great 1939
Yeah.
was.
And it was Clark Gable and Norma Shear in Idiot's Delight, and he sings Putting on the Ritz. He's a song and dance man. He's a hoofer traveling through Europe, just as World War II is beginning to rear its ugly head.
And why did you name your show Idiot's Delight then?
It came to me one day, sort of like Flood came to you guys.
right.
It was there one day, and I said, okay, Idiot's Delight. But Idiot's Delight is also the name of a card game as well. It's a form of solitaire.
Yeah.
Somebody once sent me the rules from, who is it, Hoyt or whoever has the rule book of everything, Hoyle or Hoyt or something. And I couldn't. It's such a convoluted game that I couldn't even begin to figure out how to play it. But it's a form of solitaire, so I think it works well as the name of a radio show. And I love your version of Istanbul, not
Yeah, it's
Constantinople.
shocking how similar they are.
I
mean, I knew that they were similar, but when you played the record,
Yeah, it's
They're in
now.
the same key. It sounds like.
So who wrote Istanbul? I wonder.
some guys. It's on.
Do we have the
We had a
credits?
really hard time finding out who actually wrote the song. In fact, it down at the
No one
lower right hand
having
corner.
written it.
Lower right-hand corner.
It's like,
Written by J. Kennedy and N. Simon.
yep.
Who
Yep, John and Neil.
Let's. Who wrote Putting on the Ritz? Let's see.
Irving Berlin.
Did he?
I think so.
I don't know. I don't have a credit here on this particular record.
Well, it's MCA.
Well,
What do you
probably all
expect?
these guys are long beyond caring, or.
Oh, I don't know.
But if it was
Publishing companies,
if it
always
was
care.
George Harrison, somebody'd be suing somebody at this point, probably. you know?
Yeah. Well, we got clearance.
Okay, good. We're listening to some of the new songs from Flood, which is the new album from They Might Be Giants here on 92.3 K-Rock. We got a commercial message.
I've got a stuffy nose, sore throat, a bad...
Listen, They Might Be Giants fans out there. Make sure you got a tape in the machine right now, because we're going to have some live music from John Flansburgh and John Linnell.
We'll tell you afterwards.
Wait a minute. Wait, hold it. I got to get that mic on. Okay, there we go.
Well, we'll let you know whether you should destroy the tape afterwards, after we play this song. This song we're about to do is from our album.
For some reason, I don't know why this is not...
not
Can you
happening
tap
now.
that?
It's not function.
Test,
Check.
test.
No, that mic's not working. Why
Okay.
not?
Well, maybe we should. Maybe
Well,
we should be plugged in. We'd like to remind everybody that you're listening to
It's not
K-Rock.
plugged. It's not plugged in.
W.
That's why it's not working.
XRK in New York City.
Maybe you better come
Plug
back.
over here.
Yeah, come back over
I'll
here.
just wheel back in my chair when it's time to sing really loud.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi,
Sorry
it's me
about
again.
that.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Where your eyes don't go, a filthy scarecrow waves its broomstick arms and does a parody of each unconscious thing you do. When you turn around to look, it's gone behind you. On its face, it's wearing your confused expression. Where your eyes don't go, where your eyes don't go, a part of you is hovering. It's a nightmare that you'll never be discovering. You're free to come and go, or talk like Curtis Blow, but there's a pair of eyes in back of your head. Every jumbled pile a person has a thinking part that wonders what the part that isn't thinking of. Should you worry when the skull head is in front of you, or is it worse because it's always waiting? Where your eyes don't go, where your eyes don't go, a part of you is hovering. It's a nightmare that you'll never be discovering. You're free to come and go, or talk like Curtis Blow, but there's a pair of eyes in back of your head. Yeah! Where your eyes don't go, a filthy scarecrow waves its broomstick arms and does a parody of each unconscious thing you do. When you turn around to look, it's gone behind you. On its face, it's wearing your confused expression. Where your eyes don't go.
Ah, yes. All right.
Wow.
And a wonderful solo, too, John.
Well, thank
That was,
This is one of those times where you wish you had a cutaway on your guitar.
look, Captain Beefheart. Did you guys listen to Captain Beefheart?
He's ripped off all our ideas,
Yeah.
man. It's all in litigation. We're sorry you brought it up.
Early Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention. Yeah. Do a little free associating with me here. Eddie Haskell.
Eddie was important.
No, in listening to the new album, I heard early Mothers like I've never heard before with you guys.
Oh, in our music.
Yeah.
Well, we're probably feeling more relaxed about it, but
Less embarrassed about admitting to having ever listened to Frank
maybe
Zappa.
because I hear horns on this album. Where I
Right.
guess there've been horns on some of the other recordings, but I wasn't as conscious of them as I am now.
Maybe we're just getting into that kind of over-arranging our stuff the way Frank does.
No, you don't. Do you think so? Are you are you real?
I think it's because it's a little bit more sophisticated recording. You can do more intricate stuff.
But
So-
we've always overarranged our
Yeah.
music.
How do you guys write? Do you write as a team? Do you actually sit down? One does the words, one does the music. Do you trade off?
Usually we write songs and then we call the other guy up and say, I've got a new song. It's incredible.
And
The other guy has
goes,
to like drop the
Oh
bomb.
man.
It's not good. All right.
I don't know.
So basically, you write solo.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. We've
And-
written a few songs. We wrote we wrote Puppet together.
Yeah.
And
They Might Be Giants on the new
They Might Be
record.
Giants theme.
We wrote together more when we started than now, just because I think we actually have to kind of find the quality time to actually write a song now more. Back when we just had day jobs and every night free, we sort of did a lot more kind of jamming then. And it's funny that we actually have less time now to write than we did when we weren't doing
Right,
shows.
even though this is
we're
your
full-time-
full-time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like there's a lot more other stuff to be done now.
Well, you guys perform an awful lot, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
Although, well, we took a lot of months off to do this record, so that
Mhm.
was our big break.
But prior to that, you were pretty much constantly on the road. That's what's kept you alive. The fact that you've been able to perform, and that when you go out, it's not a real big expensive thing for you guys to go out, right? I mean, you go out. It's just
really.
basically the two of you. You go out with. You have tapes, backup tapes that you use.
Right.
You
Yeah.
don't.
Right.
There usually are no other musicians involved.
Right,
Right.
yeah.
You go out.
It's
we-
not really. We're finding ways to make it more expensive, though. We recently bought a bass drum, and we're carrying that around. Of course, we need roadies to bring that.
Uh-huh.
And we have a bass saxophone, which the case for which is like,
5 feet tall.
yeah, it's roughly the size of my refrigerator.
Yeah.
Do you anticipate it all working with other musicians in a live situation?
No, partially because we're very used to this, and I think actually as time has gone on, we've actually started working more in a duo, like doing this kind of what we just did is something that we actually do in the show more often.
Mhm.
And it started out, I think we really kind of wanted to, have the look and feel of a genuine rock band. And I think more and more we realize that actually one thing that's really positive about what we're doing is that it's actually small format. So
Well, and it's also one of the things that makes you guys unique, that you don't have that look and feel of
Right.
of a rock band.
well, yeah, we were misguided when we wanted to do that anyway. So.
Tell me about this song on the new album called "Your Racist Friend."
Well, that's an interesting song, just in that it's definitely a much more straightforward song than previous songs on our records. I mean, it might seem really out of character in the sense that it's dealing with a very serious subject matter, but I think, there's still an element of the lyrics are consistent with what we've written about in the past. It's just maybe doesn't have, there's metaphors in it, and just like on a lot of our songs, and it's a lyrical song, and it has elements of songwriting that are not. It's not just this confrontational, confessional, direct song, but it is what it sounds like. It is.
It does kind of stand out a little bit though from the "They Might Be Giants" oeuvre, so to speak.
Well, it seemed like a good issue to bring up. Actually, it's funny because it was written about a year and a half ago, which seemed like a distinctly different time in terms of the racial mood of New York City. I mean, now it seems completely contemporary with the current state of today in New York because there's so much racial strife. But actually, the song is written about a very personal kind of experience that is more a constant, whether racism is in the headlines or not. It's sort of about dealing with your friends and dealing with racism, this more subtle kind of racism that happens all the time.
From the new album Flood, John Linnell and John Flansburgh are my guests tonight here on Idiot's Delight. You guys are playing where soon?
We're playing
Second and third at the Village.
The Village Gate.
That's sort of been your
Art
your
DeLugos
place. That's been
Village
your
Gate.
place, hasn't it? I mean,
Yeah, well, we've done a lot of shows there. We've done
And we
some
know our
series there.
place.
Yes. No, we played at the Bottom Line actually at the end of last year, and but we like playing in places that we can actually see people in the audience and stuff. I mean, we're doing 4 shows instead of just one big show at some place. Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess
Right.
I don't know if we're big enough to play at the Beacon, but I guess we could play at the Ritz or something like that. But it's nice to do shows where it's more casual, and I think that's where it's better for us, at least.
I
It's not
think
quite so
you guys
nerve-wracking.
you could do the Beacon at this point, I'm sure.
Yeah, but it might not be the. I mean, it's funny because when we started, we were playing in clubs that held like 50 people or 100 people, and that was really, that seemed like the right size. And every time we played for 400 people, we'd be going, "Oh no, we can't. Hi everybody, how is it going?" Ding ding ding, and we'd be completely frantic and nervous. And now we can play for 400 people and still, feel comfortable and that it's our show and it's kind of.
Well,
Yeah.
I remember the first time you played at the Village Gate that there was some skepticism on your part as to whether you'd be able to fill the place. You were nervous about it.
Well, it wasn't just filling it; it was also just whether or not we'd be able to
Filling
do
it with love.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Another aspect.
You for a while there you were doing a lot of television stuff, like a lot of MTV, and just sort of popping up. People were always telling me that I saw that Might Be Giants on TV
Yeah.
the other day, doing stuff on Nickelodeon and all.
Yeah, well,
the
we've
kids'
done
channel.
stuff on Nickelodeon for a while.
Yeah.
They've been really great.
Is that something you're still involved in? Are you still doing?
We're doing Nickelodeon next week, I think.
Really?
Yeah. Well, they had this show called Nick Rocks, which was this children's video show.
Right.
And it was just kind of pleasant because it was completely free of all the gratuitous sex and violence videos and just had, interesting. They were much more tuned into what we were doing. And, I mean, the fact it was sort of beside the point that it was a children's video. It wasn't really a children's video. It just happened to be, kind of interesting video.
Which song was that?
Oh, well, they played all our videos.
Uh-huh.
They would have us on. They'd let us play all our videos when we do songs live. And it
The
was
last
really
video I
informative.
remember seeing was the one that was done in Central Park.
They'll Need a Crane. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah,
what?
we've got one out now for Birdhouse, which will be on MTV shortly. So.
Did you read the article about MTV in the current issue of Rolling Stone? Check it out.
What did
It's,
it say?
Well, it just talks about the whole the way MTV works. The behind the scenes,
We should read that.
How things get on, how things get on the air there, what the politics is there, what the philosophy is there. It's really pretty revealing. I don't, me and TV. I have this thing about television where I just don't
You
watch
think
it.
it's evil?
Well,
Is that what you're trying to say, Vin?
Yeah, I think. I think it's insidious, is what I think TV is for the most part. I think TV is capable of driving us way beyond the brink. A lot of that is in this new Thomas Pynchon book, as a matter of fact, in Vineland. He talks a lot about the influence of television on the mentality of the country over the past 20 or 30 years, which is not to say that it isn't thrilling for me to know that They Might Be Giants is on Nick Rocks from time to time.
Well, we think it's evil, too.
Okay, good. Let me play this song from the new album called Twisting. You want to say anything about this before I play it?
It's a rock song.
Yeah.
It's sort of part of the She Hates You, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, here we are. Twisting is the title of that song from Flood. They Might Be Giants. You guys going to do another live one for us?
I think we are.
Okay,
This
great.
is a song that we did
You don't
many
play
years
guitar
ago.
on this one.
Say what?
I just forgot that you don't play the guitar. on
Nope.
this one.
This song was written by someone we don't know the names of as well. It originally made a big hit by Leslie Gore. Produced, of course, by Q, Quincy Jones, the dude. And it's called Maybe I Know.
That's our little cue to remind us, as opposed to the big Q, Quincy Jones.
The dude.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Maybe I know that she's been a cheating. Maybe I know that she's been untrue. But what can I do? I hear them whispering as I walk by. She's gonna break his heart and make him cry. I know it's me they're talking about. I bet they all think I'll never find out. Oh, but maybe I know that she's been a cheating. Maybe I know that she's been untrue. But what can I do? My friends keep telling me that she's no good. She isn't treating you the way she should. I feel so badly, that's all I can say. Before my tears fall, I just walk away. Oh, but maybe I know that she's been a cheating. Maybe I know that she's been untrue. But what can I do? Deep down inside she loves me, though she may run around. I know someday she'll love me, someday she'll settle down. Maybe I know that she's been a cheating. Maybe I know that she's been untrue. But what can I do? Maybe I know that she's been a cheating. Maybe I know that she's been untrue. But what can I do? Yes, all right. They Might Be Giants.
Take this crazy music off. I can't stand this crazy music.
All right, it's off. It's
noise.
It's gone now. We won't play that. We won't play that anymore. So even though there's no song called Flood on the album Flood, there is a song called They Might Be Giants on the album Flood from They Might Be Giants, who will be appearing at the Village Gate on February
2nd and 3rd.
2nd and 3rd.
The Club Malibu, somewhere on Long Island, Lido Beach. Lido Beach on Tuesday night, whatever date that is.
This coming Tuesday?
Yeah, this coming Tuesday night. And we're playing at the Living Room in Providence, Rhode Island on Thursday night, the 1st. And we're playing in Birmingham, England on the 15th of February.
That's the one I want to make.
Yeah.
The one in Birmingham,
Or
England.
we're playing in Dublin. And
Yeah?
that's sometime in February.
Really?
And we're playing in Germany in March. And we'll be back in New York, I guess, at the end of March.
Okay. Terrific. Good luck with the album. It's a delight. It lives up to all the expectations that one has for They Might Be Giants. And I thank you for stopping by tonight. And for instead of in the morning, it's nice to see you guys at night. And it was nice to have you actually sing and play and everything.
Well, thanks so much for having us on.
John Linnell, John Flansburgh, They Might Be Giants. Thank you, guys. Take care.
Thank you, Vin.
Okay. This is Idiot's Delight on 92.3 K-Rock. It's WXRK New York. It's just about 10 o'clock.